As the mayor of the town of Clayton, I'd like to call this regular town council meeting to order. I ask you to stand for the Pledge of Allegiance and remain standing for the invocation. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Let us pray. Most gracious and heavenly Father, we pause to give you thanks for the many blessings of this day. And we ask, Lord, now that you be with us as we proceed with the business for the town of Clayton. For it's in Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Are there any adjustments to the agenda?
Yes, sir. We would like to remove items 3A and item 5A from the agenda for the evening.
3A.
And 5A under introductions and special presentations. The employee.
Because I'm like, I don't have 5A. I got 5B, C, and D. Okay, just, all right. I got you. All right, any others? If not, I'll entertain a motion to approve the adjustment to the agenda.
So moved.
Second.
All right, all in favor say aye.
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 Opposed likewise. Motion carries. Up next is your consent agenda.
I move we approve.
Second.
We have a motion by Mayor Pro Tem Thompson and seconded by Mr. Sims. Is there any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Up next on the introduction and special presentation agenda is World Autism Awareness Day and World Autism Month proclamation. Good evening.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Ryan Rosani, 2023 President of Triangle Area Networking Group, better known as TANG. We are excited to have our second Autism Awareness Month at Clayton Fire Station number 1, Saturday, April 29th from 10 to 2 to recognize autism awareness and to benefit DJ Svoboda and the Imagine Friends. And I would like to present you guys DJ Svoboda.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It is high time for the whole entire world to know and to realize that autism is to be known and to be understood and never to be judged or to be criticized in any bitter or harsh way. For children, teens, and adults with autism of all ages have a very important and very special place in this world, and they too deserve to be loved and to be accepted for who they are. They don't need harsh judgment. They don't need mistreatment. They need only love and acceptance and kindness. For they too can make this world into a better and greater place. It is important to get to know them and to give them a chance to show what they can do to make this world even better and greater, and they too can show love and care and kindness in above and beyond ways to the maximum.
Thank you.
Wait, come back. Okay, so first of all, that deserves a really awesome round of applause. And second of all, now therefore we, the town of Clayton Town Council, hereby proclaim April 2023 as World Autism Month and April 2nd, 2023 as World Autism Awareness Day in the town of Clayton. And citizens are encouraged to create a kinder, more inclusive world for people with autism spectrum disorder. Proclaimed this third day of April 2023. Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you very much.
You're very welcome.
Turn around and let's get a picture made. Awesome. Thank you again. Thank you very much. Great job. Thank you for being here. You're welcome. Next on the agenda will be the Arbor Day proclamation.
I apologize for the letdown that this will be.
Hard act to follow.
All right. Mayor, members of council, thank y'all for the opportunity to stand before y'all to accept this proclamation on behalf of the town and the Parks and Recreation Department. As a town, we'll be celebrating Arbor Day on the last Friday in April. We're excited to host the festivities in the newly reimagined municipal park beginning at 5:30 p.m. As we came together beginning to plan this event, the event itself nearly created itself. That's why I'm surrounded by these phenomenal people. It is April 29th will serve as a capstone to National Library Week, and we'll be celebrating, obviously, National Arbor Day on the actual National Arbor Day, which is kind of cool. Usually it falls a day or two off. And it's also the kickoff to May, which is the month of the trail in the town of Clayton.
So yeah, following Scott, a little bit about the event. We're going to kick it off at 5:30 with local artist Proton Jones. Some of you guys might know him, but he's going to be out there on the Caterpillar stage. He'll play from 5:30 till about 7:30. During that time, we'll have some vendors out there. We'll have the Community Garden NC Cooperative Extension out there, food trucks, games. Parks and Rec is actually going to be giving away 3 types of native tree seedlings out to the public. We've got about 500. And then once the sun goes down, we'll be showing A Bug's Life. And that will be playing on the Caterpillar stage as well. So we're really looking forward to it.
Awesome.
So naturally, the question you're asking yourselves is, how can we help? And that'll be the tree giveaway. So we would love if any or all of y'all could join us for that portion of the event. Like we said, the event will kick off at 5:30. I really think it'll kind of hit its stride around 6. So if any of y'all have availability in your schedule to sneak out there, we would love to have you assist us in passing out those trees to our citizens. But finally, this event wouldn't be possible without the support of economic development in the library, as well as the DDA, and you'll see them in full force out there on the day of the event as well.
Awesome. Our appreciation to each one of you and all the organizations that help making this be super successful. So now, therefore, let it be proclaimed by the Honorable Mayor and the Clayton Town Council that Friday, April 28th, 2023 be recognized as Arbor Day, and we urge all citizens to celebrate Arbor Day and support efforts to protect our trees and woodlands. We encourage all citizens to plant trees to promote the well-being of this and future generations. Proclaimed this 3rd day of April 2023. It's my pleasure to present this proclamation to you all.
Where do you want us?
Shut up, get over here. Let's get a picture, man. Let you hold half of this. How about that? That's awesome. Awesome, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, you can take that.
Awesome, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
And next will be the Week of the Young Child Proclamation.
This is a recurring problem for me. Okay. Good evening, Mr. Mayor, Town Council, and Town staff. Thank you for allowing us to be here. I'm Dana Wooten, President of the Clayton Chamber of Commerce, and I am joined by Myra Burrell. She is the Chair of our Education Committee, and Joy Garrettson, who is a member of our committee as well. So I'm going to turn this over to Myra.
Thank you, Dana. Thank you, everyone. Week of the Young Child is a time for us to celebrate young children birth through age 8, their families, and those that care for them. It's very important to focus on these years because within the first 5 years, about 85 to 90% of the brain is developed. So to give children a strong foundation to have success in the future in kindergarten, school, and in life, we've got to get it right in the first 5 years. So thank you.
That is awesome. And now, therefore, on behalf of the Town Council of Clayton, I, Mayor Jody McLeod, do hereby proclaim April 1 through 7, 2023 as the Week of the Young Child, and hereby encourage all citizens to work to support and invest in early childhood in the town of Clayton, proclaimed this 3rd day of April 2023. Thank you.
Sir.
And thank you.
Thank you.
Whoops. Somebody short left that microphone.
I don't know who it was.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, ladies.
Thank you, sir.
Next up, under new business, will be the Main Street designation.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Patrick Pierce, Economic Development Director. So wanted to see if that's going to work for me here. 1 second. Lydia, do you want to fly that for me? Thank you. And also Lydia Davis, Economic Development Specialist. So wanted to chat with you all about the Main Street Program designation. So this is a program that has come up both in the downtown strategy and the downtown master plan, and wanted to get some guidance from the council tonight kind of on next steps going forward here. So Main Street is a national program. It started, I believe, in 6 states, has expanded to 46 states. It was originally created by the National Trust for Historic Preservation and is now administered by the NC Department of Commerce Main Street and Rural Planning Center, of which Bruce Naglin, who many of you all know, is our main contact there. So their key mission is really economic development through the context of historic preservation. We've made, and the town's made strides in that over the past several decades over the designation of the historic district, the signage that's up around, and many of the other things. So the Main Street program really goes on these 8 principles here. So it's comprehensive. It really looks at everything in our downtown, very similar to the downtown master plan work. It is incremental. You got to take, lots of bites of the elephant to get it. It's about really how you help yourself. It's about partnering with both within the community, but also with the other 70 plus communities in North Carolina. It's asset-based, really looking at building high quality spaces, maybe changing the way people think, and really how do you get from a plan and a book to actually implementing a plan, and that's really their focus. So in that, in terms of their approach, these may look familiar here. So really they go on organization, economic vitality, design, and promotion. And those are some of the 4-point, that's the same 4-point approach that the DDA currently uses in terms of how it organizes its work in its committee structure. So as part of doing this, to get into the Main Street program and to be a Main Street community, the pathway to that right now is the Downtown Associate Community, or the DAC program. What that does, again, emphasizes partnership. They provide from the state specialized training that their experts and their work throughout the state will provide, as well as technical assistance. Kind of a snapshot of what the retail landscape looks like. They do annual surveys of budget and salaries to help councils like yourselves to be able to kind of set the right scope and where things at and kind of best practices those things. North Carolina's got one of the strongest programs in the nation, so it's really well regarded, and they just really are there along the way and really want to help a community get to a full plan. And so some of this is going to, I think, complement some of the other work that is in play in terms of the strategic plan and the master plan as well. So going deeper into that, 3 to 5 communities will be selected. That's really about a people power issue on their side, because they're going to be traveling to each of these communities multiple times as this whole 2-year process goes forward. I will say that if we were to apply and be selected, that does not mean that you become a Main Street community. So you have to demonstrate commitment and the capacity throughout this to actually be successful. And it's quite a lengthy application, which is part of the reason why we're here, because we want to make sure that we've got support before we go forward. And Lydia spends hours and hours and hours putting together an application. So some of the requirements, and this is where it's kind of some of the meat and potatoes here. So you have to have a downtown district, check. Have to be less than 50,000 people, check. Throughout the process, you have to have a DAC coordinator, to my right, most likely, as Lydia does, check. But there is a requirement that you have a designated Main Street coordinator or director hired within 18 months. And that sole purpose of that person's job has to be to do downtown Main Street program work. There's also they ask you to reimburse the travel of the MSRC staff as they're doing that training back and forth through the DAC program, and that commitment to attend all the trainings through the DAC coordinator and the Main Street coordinator, and that the program is managed through either a town department, advisory board, nonprofit, or a hybrid approach, which you can see different communities kind of do that differently depending on where they have a municipal service district, kind of just how they all work. So they do allow flexibility there. So this is due by the end of the month. If we were to apply, we would know by June. But there is a resolution that could be signed after that, but a commitment that a resolution of support would be passed, and also a signed cover sheet by an elected official, which I assume would be the mayor, saying that they support the application and support moving forward. So that's and I think the last slide here. If this all seems familiar, it's because Clayton was a Main Street community. So it is deja vu all over again. We hosted 2 conferences, and like I said before, DDA does still utilize this approach, and in many ways is carrying on with the Main Street tradition without having the moniker there to do so. So from a recommendation standpoint, I mean, the Main Street program has value both in the marketing that they do, the technical assistance, and I just think the overall cachet that it brings, both in conversations with DDA and the 2 plans that have been working on the Downtown Strategy Master Plan, the downtown or the Main Street program, and that dedicated person that comes with has been recommendations in both of those plans, although one is still a draft, but those are definitely those are strong recommendations there. So our recommendation would be to proceed, see how we're received, and then be able to go forward. But since there are requirements there and commitments there, we thought it was important to get in front of you all and present that and see what your recommendations are so we know how to move forward. So with that, I would gladly take any questions.
All right, thank you. Any questions or comments for Patrick? I think it's a great idea. I think we have missed not being a part of the Main Street program. Yeah. And I find back not only in the past, but what can transpire for us in the future as both being very positive.
Yeah. Very good.
So, do you want a motion to move ahead? Or are you good with consensus to move ahead? What's your preference?
I guess I'd look at what a motion would be.
I make a motion that we proceed with the Main Street program for the town of Clayton.
We have a motion by Councilman Casey and a second by Councilman Everett. Is there any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Motion carries.
All right, thank you so much. And Lydia thanks you for all the work she's going to do this April putting together your application.
All
Thank you.
And if you need any help, you just ask Patrick, okay? There you go.
Thank you.
All right, we're going to move on to staff reports, beginning with the town manager.
Mayor, I'll be brief tonight. First, I just wanted to say thank you to Griffles for hosting us this past week at our retreat, Thursday and Friday. I think you all were able to receive a whole lot of information, but more importantly, have some good discussion about kind of where the future of Clayton is going and some of those budget considerations that are going to be coming up. So appreciate you and all of the staff that were involved to get that together, including Deputy Manager Gill, who facilitated that for us. We'll be bringing more information, obviously, to the next work session based on our conversations for the budget. So if there's any other considerations that you would like in the meantime, please reach out. Other than that, just a couple quick dates I want to hit. On the 5th, there'll be story time at the fire station at 10 a.m. We have the Parks and Rec Flower Fest and Plant Sale starting at 8 a.m. at the Clayton Community Center on the 15th. And Thompson Square that evening at 8 o'clock here at the Clayton Center, if anybody's still interested. And that's it for me today.
All right, thank you, sir. Town attorney? Town clerk?
No report.
All right, up next under other staff is the mass communications data voice presentation.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Ms. Gabe and I would just like to give you a very brief update and a status check of where we are on migrating through our mass communication program. Nathaniel Shelton and several other folks within other departments are working to coordinate together to be able to provide electrical outage management coverage for when we have outages, as well as many other emergency types of events. And the biggest part of this not only is getting all of the software and all of the integrations together, but also making certain that all of our residents and customers have updated information. It's only as good as the updated information we're able to get. And Ann is here tonight, and she's going to give you a status check on that very important and crucial part of it. And then we will be back with you at a later time as the rollout continues. And we're looking at a summer 2023 rollout. Okay?
Wonderful.
Thank you, Dolores. Good evening. We've been working really hard for the last 2.5 weeks to update customer information, and Heidi provided for you just a printout of an example of what we've put out to staff. It shows a QR code. So that's just one means of us reaching out to customers. We're not only doing updated bill backers. If any of you receive your bills by notification, electronic notification, we've updated that so that you see this QR code. We're actually calling customers too. For customers that we don't currently have cell phones on, we're reaching out to them. Within 2 weeks, we've collected over 500 customers' updated data, and that's just the beginning because it's just gone out on bill backers. We've stamped the envelopes that are going out, asking customers to read the back of their bill for some really critical information. Maybe that'll get their attention, but we know how important this is to get this information to make this program very successful. Darcy Ammons that you met that joined my staff 2-3 months ago. She's actually leading this project up for my group and doing an amazing job. She has a background in marketing, and she's been able to do an amazing job with this. So we feel very confident that this is going to be a very successful rollout.
Awesome. Thank you. Any questions or comments? Yes, sir.
I just want to thank Ann for her really positive attitude. As many know, I'm big on customer experience, and I think the more and more we work, and it's a constant work, and to make the customer experience good for the people in Clayton. And just want to thank her for everything she's doing.
Yep. All right, I'll now open the floor for informal discussion and public comment. Individuals have 3 minutes to address the town council.
I prepared a 5-minute speech because I'm here representing Joko Rainbow, a little organization that I founded here to advocate for change in Johnson County. My name is Ben Chapman, and in October 2021, I participated in a march from the Capitol building to the Hawkins-Hartness House. I walked with North Carolina faith leaders to call for the resignation of Lieutenant Governor Mark Robinson. That story was published and reported on at the time and garnered national attention, but there were no articles published about my protest in Goldsboro. So I wanted to share that story with you tonight. North Carolina is divided into 12 Boy Scout councils, and in March of 2022, the Friends of Scouting in the Tuscarora Council invited Mark Robinson to be a keynote speaker in Goldsboro. I took my decades-old and much too small Class A uniform, a giant rainbow flag, and a homemade sign, and I stood outside of the Agricultural Center in a solitary protest. My message was, quote, morally straight gay Eagle Scout, not filth. I did this because I felt that the leaders in scouting needed a reminder. A decade ago, the Boy Scouts of America had a national discriminatory policy against openly gay scouts. I wanted to remind these Scoutmasters that by inviting Mark Robinson to them as a keynote speaker, they were doing harm to LGBT Scouts that were active within the council. I can't say that I was successful. The only Scoutmaster who approached me criticized how I was wearing my uniform and told me that a lot had changed. It's been 18 months since the filth statement of Mark Robinson became publicly known, and he's doubled down and continued to make bigoted statements. He has compared members of our community to cow feces, maggots, and filth. Sorry, flies, but he did also say filth. He recently said that churches that fly a rainbow flag are spitting in the face of God, and he has expressed the extremist view that heterosexual couples in North Carolina are superior to same-sex couples. When the spouse of the Speaker of the House was brutally assaulted, he said, quote, I'm sorry, Paul, I don't believe you or the press, with 4 exclamation points, as he shared a blatantly fake, blatantly homophobic conspiracy theory. I'm here today because I feel strongly that it was inappropriate for members of the chamber and members of this council to meet in the Hawkins-Hartness house with Mark Robinson. When I saw this photo that was put out on Mark Robinson's social media, my heart ached for the young queer residents of Clayton who saw that image. Clayton must move forward, not backwards. I don't think anyone in this room shares those extreme beliefs, and I don't really want to dwell on Mark Robinson now that we have some context. I want to talk about the thousands of LGBTQIA+ people in Johnson County that call Clayton home. I want to talk about what we can do to affect some real positive change for them. I've engaged the community and developed these specific requests. While we understand that the Clayton Chamber of Commerce is independent from the town council, we know that you possess specific influence on the Legislative and Government Affairs Committee as elected officials. First, we repeat our request that this town council adopt an LGBT inclusive non-discrimination ordinance. I won't elaborate further at this time since I gave a presentation on the subject last year, and at the last meeting I spoke about Crown Act protections and the importance of protections for natural hair. Secondly, we are asking the leaders of the Clayton Chamber of Commerce to meet with local members of the LGBTQ+ community. We want to engage in a positive and productive conversation about how we can work together in the future. Finally, we request that the Chamber organize an LGBTQ+ and allies committee and/or special events task force. The purpose would be a space where Chamber members who are interested in hosting LGBT pride events could coordinate and plan complementary events with community input and feedback. Those 3 requests are informed by community input from people who couldn't be here tonight. As I close, I want to thank Clayton resident Judy Egbert, who joined me last week at the General Assembly for Equality NC's Advocacy Day. We met with State Senator Benton Sawrey, despite his reservations meeting with representatives of Equality NC. And if we can sit down with Benton and have a positive and productive conversation, I think it's possible for the Clayton Chamber of Commerce. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Anyone else? All right, no one wishing to speak. I'll turn it over to council for comments. The only thing I think we need to make a mention of is the change of location for the story time with the fire department and where the Easter Bunny is actually going to be. because that's important.
Yep, appreciate Chief Sutphin for correcting me here. Due to the construction at the fire station, that has been moved to Town Square.
Perfect. All right. All right, so if there's no other business to come before this council, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion by Mayor Pro Tem Thompson and seconded by Mr. Sims. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Motion carries. Thank you.